So there we go. So we've just got a couple of minutes and we are waiting for a few other people to join us. I'll just turn the page live for everybody coming through. There we go. Just making sure that everything is ready to go. Rightio, I think we've got a live page and we've got broadcasting on there. So we'll just wait a few minutes, Steve, and make sure we've got everybody coming through. If you're early and one of the early bird people joining us, hi. Drop your name and email in the chat box on the page. This is obviously an interactive hangout, so we want you guys to be involved and to come and chat with us. So there's a little red box down the bottom that says send us your questions. Just drop in your name and email there and you'll be ready to go and you can ask us questions. I'll see those questions coming through in the Hangout dashboard and we'll answer questions. I think, Steve, probably best if we I'll interrupt you every now and then and just say hi, and anybody that's asking us questions I'll just sort of drop them in, but we might take questions all in one hit at the end. What do you think?
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. I mean, if there's something really important, obviously stop me and say, "Whoa, we need to cover that. I don't know what that was about," or whatever's required at the time.
So we'll just chat amongst ourselves until we have a few more people joining us. I think we've got quite a few hundred people joining us, so that's going to be an exciting event for us. And we're going to talk about Facebook marketing, which I know that is a huge thing. And as I said, we'll kick off with the main meat of it. But just before we kick into the main thing, I know that a lot of people, Steve, have a try, and I'll use inverted commas. A lot of people have a try at Facebook marketing, and a lot of people lose their shirt, man. It could be, and lose their shirt is a dramatic thing to say, but it could be as simple as, I spent $50 on advertising and I didn't get a return. That can be losing your shirt, and that's a scary, scary thing. We've got a couple of people joining us. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Randy. Hi, Judy. Got some guys coming on, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, even when I got started, I would set up a campaign and watching some of Don Wilson's stuff and whatever. I'd put $10 up as my daily budget and not see any return on it. And you think, oh, well, okay, maybe I did something wrong or whatever. But you can only do that a few times. Daniel, yes, it is. Just in addition to that, as well as other things as well. So we're going to cover a whole bunch of stuff today. How to choose profitable niches, how to actually find things that work, how to make them work, and we're going to cover a lot of things on Facebook marketing today. So Ian, good to see you as well. Guys, again, if you're on the system, Gary's just joined us. Drop your name and email into the little box that says send us your questions so that you can interact with us, and we can make sure we say hi. So just as we're kicking off, guys, we've got 60 minutes, and I really want to keep this to a 60-minute window because I know it's everybody's busy as well. Joe's just joined us. 60 minutes, we're going to cover a whole bunch of stuff, and I promise you that if you go through this system and you listen to what we have to say this morning, that you're going to get a lot more out of your Facebook marketing, and a lot more out of marketing in general. Steve, is it fair to say that most marketing, and I'll introduce Steve properly in just a second, most marketing is done on guesswork. I mean, I'm seeing some campaigns, even as I drive around the city, right? I went to the airport the other day, and I was with a colleague, and I pointed out to them this huge billboard, and you can imagine that billboard cost $10,000 for the month, and the campaign was shocking. Hey, Joe, good to see you. Ian's just sent us a message. Thank you. Ian's just said to put my camera down so you can see more of my sexy shirt. Appreciate that. So most marketing is guesswork. We looked at this billboard and we said, who came up with that campaign? It's shocking. It's not targeting someone specific. A lot of people throw a lot of money at marketing, and most of all, it's guesswork. Yeah. And I'm going to say, this is my generic statement when it comes to marketing. Marketing is not guesswork. Marketing is about research. Marketing is about knowing your audience and engaging with them in the right way, so that you get the maximum returns.
Yeah, 100%. I think I've done too much of that guesswork myself, and I'm all for Facebook ads. I'm all for spending money when it's done sensibly, because it's so easy just to burn through cash so fast.
Absolutely.
Like, whoa.
And
You know,
you could spend, even if you have a success, you could spend $50, for example, and make back 40 or 35, and you think,
yeah.
oh, so close, and then you turn it up. Unless you're doing it right, you're just going to burn your shirt. So, look, guys, we're 5 minutes in. I really want to keep this to an hour, so let me do an introduction properly. I'm thrilled. Exactly, Ian. You've got to get your demographics right and pick your avatar. We're going to talk about that this morning. So I want to do an introduction. I am thrilled to be on with Mr. Steve Benn from the UK. I met Steve a year and a half ago at a conference in Manchester. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Steve and I chatted a lot about marketing and about strategies, and we've been good friends ever since. And one of the things that really, I guess, impressed me about Steve and sort of made me grab onto his coattails and ask him for advice all the time. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Is the fact that Steve is a real marketer, and I want to underline the word real. Steve runs a company where his 100% breadwinning, money in the door business is marketing for companies. So he will go into businesses in and around the UK, and I'm sure you've got clients internationally as well, and run their marketing for them. It could be as simple as a bar on the corner where Steve's gone in and changed the way they've approached things and brought in more customers and saved that business from going under. So Steve's a real marketer, and I'm so pleased and thrilled to be able to spend an hour with Steve this morning to be able to go through one of the biggest opportunities online at the moment, which is Facebook. And the strategies we're going to talk about with this 1 hour session is going to be more than just Facebook. It's going to be marketing in general from a real marketing professional that you can take these strategies and move forward with. Specifically, we're going to talk about Facebook marketing this morning, but I want you to know that if you take the strategy around what we're going to talk about, move it forward, you can engage that in anything that you do and change your return on investment, change your return from a negative to a positive by doing things really smart. So good morning, and from Australia, good morning, good evening from the UK, and in the US as well. We'd like to welcome Mr. Steve Benn.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Walt. Great to be here. Got a lot of good
mate.
stuff, I think, to cover today.
Awesome. I'm going to mute for a lot. I'm going to jump in with questions now, guys. I did mention, send us your questions. Say hi, Miguel. How are you? Good to see you. Miguel, stick around. We've got lots of interaction to come through. Send us your questions, and I'll bounce anything that you want to know off Steve. Pay attention, listen up for an hour, and we're going to really cover through as much money-making things as we can. Now, before we kick off, Steve, one of the things that blew me away when you and I were talking was that just by being a smart marketer, you've done something amazing. You've pulled in a $300,000 payday. So do you want to? I mean, that is an incredible story in itself, and a reason for everybody to listen up hard. But that is the kind of thing that changes lives, yeah. Joe says welcome, by the way, Steve. Joe says hi. Jonathan says hi.
Cool. Hi, guys. Great to have you on.
Lots of people on.
So yeah, I don't know.
Tell us about the $300,000 payday, mate. That is a life changer.
If it's all right with you, I mean, I always like to talk about successes, but I'd like to keep it real. I'd like to talk about a few failures actually first that led me to that.
Do that.
So, we met, say, just about a year and a half ago, and running my consultancy, and we have lots of great clients on board, and I'm always looking for new ways to help them. But let's say go back to sort of 2003, 2004. I was working in the corporate world. I was actually working at Walmart's HQ in the UK. And basically I did that because I was a video editor and it wasn't working out for me. I was getting contracts and I had no idea how to put myself out there. Fast forward a few years, come to sort of 2005, 2006, and I got this great idea for a piece of software that would really help video editors, because I'd still been doing that kind of in my sort of spare time. But it wasn't possible. I couldn't program, but I got together this programming team. We moved into the old offices of the UK's, at that time, biggest internet provider, FreeServe. And we started at this company and we were selling software at $500, $1,000, $2,000. And we were doing all right, but I knew it could be better. So I found this site called the Warrior Forum, started learning about marketing, and basically because I wasn't doing anything, I was just saying programs do this, this, and this. I started actually consulting to businesses actually that were in the same shared office block as me. So that's kind of how I got started. And then I started releasing all these training products, getting clients on board. Most of my products come from things that I've put together for outsourcers, for staff in the office, just like, hey, here's how we do this, guys. And then if it really seems to work for it, then I put it out as a product. And I did that for years. And then like 2012, late 2012, one of my students, Jamie, says, Steve, this is a great training course. I love being your student, but I'm going to be honest, if I took away your affiliates, if I took away your list, you'd be screwed. Okay, even if you use the system, okay, it would take you ages. And I was thinking, wow, it's probably taken me 8 years to build up to this. Is he right? But the only way I could prove this, the absolute only way, was to go outside of internet marketing. Now, I'll talk about internet marketing stuff a bit later, but I couldn't go into that niche because, you know, what was I supposed to do? I got all the contacts, people knew me. So I thought, right, I've got to go underground. And I thought, well, you know, I could do ClickBank stuff, but ClickBank, it's there, but it's not really like it's growing anymore, where everything is on Facebook. So I thought, okay, I've got to crack Facebook. And I thought, I really need to get a lot of data on this, because before then I've been doing a lot of YouTube marketing. Some people might vaguely remember this. I was doing quite well with it. And I thought, you know what? I've got to find a way to get all this Facebook data. I thought, look at the gurus, but not just like the gurus in internet marketing. There were loads of other ones, people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Tim Ferriss. In the fitness arena, I found a woman called Zuz Khalid, who went from having a really popular YouTube channel to being really popular on Facebook, selling loads of DVDs. I thought, I can crack how these guys are doing it, then I'll be absolutely fine. You know, I'll have got everything sorted. And plus, this is going to really help out my clients as well. It's a win-win. So I kind of got this plan together. And I thought, you know, we need to get a lot of data. We need to gather everything these people have been doing over the past few years. So I went to this company called Fancy Hands. They do basically virtual assistant services. And I thought, okay, let's see what their biggest package is. And they had a half-price deal on like an unlimited package for a year. I thought, oh, guys, you've made a mistake. I ordered it, and then I had the virtual assistants working day and night for a whole month. And we managed basically to put together one niche. It was basically for DJs, amateur DJs, put together a little project for them. They just basically all I did was they just explained basic marketing stuff that we all know. Here's how you set up a blog. Here's how you do all this stuff. They don't know that. So we got all of this together, and you know, we did probably around 29,000 on that without affiliates. And that was just literally dragging people off Facebook and then building up a little bit of a portfolio of like some good lead magnets to give away. But that was so hard, I was exhausted. I was like, man, I can't do this. You know, we can't spend a month every single niche to do this. It was really exhausting. So fast forward a few months, we had this special system developed, and we decided to go into a similar kind of broadcast media niche. We spent a couple of months on the campaign, you know, queuing up emails, doing videos, loads of great lead magnets. So we put together loads of free infographics. We even ended up getting a little piece of software developed. It was really, really basic. We basically just played MP3 streams on the desktop. So we basically just got some off-the-shelf stuff. But I knew it'd be worth it. And we did, in total, just over, how do you say it, 301, I get confused with this, 310,000? Yeah, 310,000, that's how you say it. You have to excuse me, guys, it's a bit late here in the UK. And
it's,
you know,
it's 1 a.m. for Steve, so you know.
Yeah, we had one refund on that, so we sold over 1,000 copies, $199 and $299, depending on the price point. We even sold, and do you remember when we were talking in Orlando, by the way? If you remember that, Wald, this was literally, you know, this was just after I'd done this, and basically we sold, gosh, I think it was 13 packages at $5,000 at the end as an upsell for people who wanted to come to the office, they wanted to come meet me. I was going to give them personal tuition. I couldn't believe it. This was in a niche where people like buy $10 ebooks. Yeah. I just thought, wow, I really, really slogged my guts out on that campaign. But we did it without affiliates. We couldn't find affiliates even if we wanted to. And then we've done other stuff since. You know, we've done sort of the usual T-shirt stuff. I've not had big success like other people have, but still made decent money. We've also done relaxation CDs, because guess what, guys? People actually buy CDs still as gifts, usually for other people. So like we've got these Birdsong CDs that actually get sold. That's cool. Done some stuff in internet marketing as well, and it's all thanks to this system, which has like basically replaced having 4 or 5 virtual assistants just working their guts out for a month or 2 at a time just to get us all this data, just to figure out when to post and stuff like that.
So pause for a second. One of the things that I just want to cover off very quickly with people is why Facebook, and my answer to people is because that's where the people are. You know,
Yeah,
and the reality is that all of us, every single person, everybody on this call, we've got 100 people on the call right now. We've got lots of people interacting with us already, which is great. And no matter what you do, no matter where you are, Facebook is a central point. Like Google is a central point for search, Facebook is a central point. And you'll still find people who don't have Facebook and the shock, oh my God, you don't have Facebook. It doesn't matter if you, it doesn't even matter if you don't jump onto Facebook a lot. The real fact of the matter is that people do. And what Steve's talking about here, relaxation CDs or different niches and T-shirts and whatever, what Steve's talking about here is the fact that you can literally find a buying group for anything on Facebook because that's where the people are. So if we look at this, and we're going to cover this morning, and this is why I've asked Steve to spend an hour with us, is because we want to be able to say what sells, what do people buy, and then how to find them and how to put those offers in front of them. Clive has asked us, since the death of custom audiences, how do we target and zone in on people? That's some of the stuff that we're going to cover this morning, because it's important to know that custom audiences were great, but it's not the be-all and end-all. There's actually a real way and strategy for finding the people without using custom audiences or anything black hat that Facebook actually says, this is how we want you to do it. So, yeah, we're going to talk about how to find things that are profitable, because that's a starting point. And just a horror story, I've looked at ClickBank, I've looked at different products when I first got started and thought, wow, that's a great niche, I'm going to go into that. And I've maybe I built a blog and I've got everything ready and I've got affiliate links going through and not made any money. And I can tell you that story has happened to probably everybody on this call, where they've chased hard after something that they thought was a great idea and just not picked up any returns out of it. And then yet you see the next website or whatever in that same niche cleaning up. So there's ways of choosing the profitable methodology. And because Facebook is about engagement, there's a way of engaging and there's ways of automating that so you don't have to be at the keyboard 24 hours a day, as Steve said, with 5 virtual assistants trying to help you. There are things that you can do. So that's what we're going to cover off this morning.
I've got to say, those virtual assistants, they worked really hard. They didn't complain, but I used to get the manager occasionally would contact me and say, Steve, you're pushing too hard. You've got to back up. And I'm like, I need this because this campaign's not going to work out without these guys.
Exactly. It's like, I'm sorry, I know you're making $4 an hour, but I need to make 10,000. Like, just do more.
Yeah. I just, I felt a little guilty, and I was like, I really should send these people gifts at the end, and that wasn't sustainable. It proved the business model, it proved the strategies. We ended up using like this little sort of Facebook developer tool to do things. But I went through one of the biggest things. Imagine if you just get the right niche every time. And I know you say niche, I say niche. I know some people say niche if they're in the US. But I've hit so many bad ones. So many absolutely awful ones. I mean, I have some of my clients as well come to me with, like, they've got a new business idea. Like, one guy wanted to do a particular type of love poetry where he would write poems actually for your loved one. You can imagine he didn't sell. He tried to go on Facebook, create a fan page. Nobody was going to pay this guy. He's a Java programmer normally. He's not going to get paid. He didn't get any engagement. And earlier I was looking at somebody who's selling discount sort of the garage doors.
Yep.
Automated garage doors.
I remember you telling me this one. Yep.
Yeah, and it's just it's not working out for them at all. It's just it's crazy. And I've got a client who sells like awnings, which are sort of like patio extensions, things like that, and they're doing all right because I've shown them some of these strategies.
The thing is, it is a strategy. You keep saying the word strategy, and Ian's just popped up and said you need to test your market first, test for intent, and then you can build and scale, which is exactly right. But we're talking about a strategy, and the great thing for everybody on the call, the great thing to know is that it really is a recipe. And even though the fact that we're dealing with people, and the fact alone that we're dealing with people means that it is completely fluid, there's still a strategy and a recipe, meaning that if A, then B, A plus B equals C. Forget all the maths about it. If I do this, I will get this result. Okay, and there is a strategy. So let's talk about how you put this together and how that's affected things from moving forward.
Well, the first thing was not kind of wasting my time on niches that didn't work. So I'd look on Facebook for a niche, and I know some people are thinking, hey, ClickBank, it's really competitive. Why would I bother? But 90% of the people who go on Facebook, they've got no idea about ClickBank products, okay? I think maybe my wife's bought like one ClickBank product in her life. There was like some sort of like exercise workout program. But she looks at stuff on Facebook all the time and she'll engage with it. Most people aren't aware. They're checking Facebook all the time. They're not checking ClickBank and stuff like that. So for me, it was about getting a niche that, is it on Facebook? And then I was hitting ones that just weren't working. Guess what? All of the ones that didn't work were usually where somebody else had tried to enter and they bought a load of likes, but there was no engagement on the page or the group. So I thought if I could figure out which ones were actually making money and also had good engagement, well, that's got to be a winner, because if they've got, let's say, 500 fans and they've got loads of people talking on that page, and they can see they're doing commercial stuff and they're putting out stuff to get profit. They've got commercial intent. So I'm really glad to hear that intent phrase. It's like, yeah, you're not going to waste your time. And then the next thing, of course, is you wanting to get great content. And you want to know when to post it. Because otherwise you do what I did for a while, which was you post all the time. But here's the thing that happens. If you just go like random as I did, Facebook goes, hey, just like Google does now, this is a great post, isn't it? People are liking this. And they give you a little more exposure on the newsfeed. But then you post another 10 an hour afterwards that you've got queued up, and they all go flat. And that instantly puts your newsfeed exposure straight back down. So you're not coming up in people's newsfeed. It's like, well, that was a freak. That's what Google's saying. That was a freak 1 in a million occurrence. They did a good post. 90% of their stuff is not even getting any likes or engagement. The other thing I figured, if you can get stuff that gets people actually replying and engaging, rather than just clicking the like button, they're the people who will create content for you, because they'll actually go write posts. They'll become mods of your groups or fan pages. They'll add another dimension, get people engaging, as opposed to, oh, paid likes, advertising. Having that data is still useful for advertising, because you know when you want to be sort of timing it. And if you use something like Perfect Audience, which I don't know if many people here will be aware about, you can actually just set your adverts to appear at a certain time. So if you knew when people were going to be on for that group, or Facebook fan pages that you were targeting, you just advertise at that time and you get great click-through ratings then. Really
Isn't
low
that amazing?
costs.
Something so simple. Let me just recap, because I use Perfect Audience a lot, and I hadn't even realized that I'm losing money just purely because of that. Like, picking the time of day for your ads to show means that you're going to cut your spend down straight away, and also means that you're going to get a higher click-through rate, which then actually gives you better ad exposure. When you get a higher click-through rate, the advertising companies show your ads more because they're making money every time you get the clicks. That's an incredible gem straight up.
Honestly, I wish that was actually, built into Facebook, and maybe they'll add it. But right now you've got to use these third-party services. Another quick sort of tip, this is just a little bit unrelated. If you start your ad sort of, let's say you're getting maybe a couple of hours, a new ad just before sort of 1 a.m. EST or EDT, then Facebook will spend your cash really, really quickly. But what that means is you get a load of exposure at once and you can see whether you've got an ad that works. So combine that with the day parting, as it's called, so you know you're doing things at the exact right time. You can instantly see, whoa, this niche isn't going to work for me. I need to back out. This T-shirt design is not going to work for me. Or it is, and let's go ahead and start tomorrow.
Yeah. So the fact is that you can, as Ian said, you need to test. So you can run that test with a small amount. Straight away we're 20 minutes into the call and we're already still talking about ads. I want to bring back a little bit, because for a lot of people on the call, Steve, even the fact of thinking about spending money is a terrifying thing. Let's start by saying, how do we... let's go back to your sentence a few minutes ago where we said, how do we look at something and say that's going to sell? So we talked about finding, for example, a page where not just somebody's thrown it up and then bought likes. So you might have a page with 10,000 likes and 5 posts from the page owner and nothing, no engagement, nobody back and forth with it. You're going to look at that page and say, that's a losing strategy, right? That's somebody who's paid the advertising and has literally burned that money. And then you might find another page or another group where you've got one or two posts from the administrator, and then lots of comments and shares and likes from the people in that group, and mixed in with, as we said, commercial material, we can actually see that that is a commercially viable niche. So before we talk about spending money on advertising, because that's really scary, I want to come back to where we started and say marketing is not guesswork. All right?
No,
if you guess at your marketing, you are going to burn your cash. Let me be very, very clear. All right. I used to run advertising companies. All right. I used to run, my first websites were advertising websites, and I used to say to people all the time, when business is good, companies advertise. When business is bad, they have to. All right. meaning that people will spend money on advertising because that's just they just throw money at it. And I want you guys, everybody on this call, stop. Don't. Okay. Marketing is not guesswork. Let's wind back a little bit, and before we get anybody spending any money on advertising, let's talk about finding the right niche.
Yeah, and that's really, really important. I mean, one thing I should point out is all of the stuff I mentioned, all those results, I didn't use any advertising for actually at all. I didn't do any paid advertising.
There it is. Absolutely. No paid advertising.
How I've actually made extra money was, once it turned out to be a success, I had sort of my little sort of Facebook tracking pixel, which you can put on now, my perfect audience tracking pixel, and then I just get residual cash. So now every sort of day or so, I see a sale come in for $199 or $299. So I had this sort of, big sort of push to start with. Once I knew it was worth it, I could work out my maths. And once you know your maths and you know that you got something that works, that's the time to do advertising. I've done it a lot in the past where you spend on advertising and you don't have the results. And the thing I've been trying to do is test before I even spend. So not test and spend as a lot of people do. Test it with the free stuff, because the free stuff on Facebook can make you a lot of money. It really can. And in all honesty, the people who are spending loads on ads and not focusing on engagement, as soon as they turn those ads off, it just drops straight back down. And you
Whereas if you do it the right way and you've got that engaged post, you'll have that residual traffic effect. So this we had that word.
Well, you're just
really find your best chance of success. You get the 80-20 rule is going to work, and they're going to bring you 80% of your cash. Focus on the 20. So the strategy is simple: find what works, test, build something into the and then continue on. If you could lay it out as an ABC steps, Steve, and then we'll talk about how you built that into a program to do it.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. So basically, first thing, coming up with just some sort of idea that you think might be good. I recommend looking at what your friends are doing, and I don't just mean your marketing friends. I mean, friends and family. So for me, you guys heard of Joe Cross, the juicing guy? He does like the 10-day reboot. His PR company sent me a free juicer. I've not actually done it yet. I've not managed to succeed. But the reason for that was I was like looking through niches and stuff. And I thought, whoa, a lot of my friends are actually into this juicing thing. So I'm just going to drop them an email and say, hey, I'm a marketer, can I get a free sort of juicer? And that was all cool and everything. But the way to start is to look at some fan pages of, things that catch your eye personally, if you've got a hobby or interest, or your friends. And then have a look at some fan pages and say, hey, of all of these pages, are they all the same? Have they all got some engagement? Because if you find ones and none of them have got engagement, they just got loads of like, but it's actually dead. It's like tumbleweeds. Just stay out of it, okay? There's something not right there. Stay out. If you find a couple with engagement and a couple just with loads of commercial links, it's probably somebody trying, but they don't know what they're doing. So you could still think about entering it. If you find one with really great engagement and very few sales things going on, loads of fan pages like that and loads of groups, then you've probably got a perfect opportunity. That means low competition, but massive potential. So absolutely. I think that's the first thing. Look to what your friends are doing, then check it out and see, is it real.
And you can also, you can look at Facebook as a huge database, which it is. So what we're talking about here, guys, is sitting down in front of your computer, mortgage, business stack or whatever, you've got to get yourself out, looking at your computer and going, what the hell am I going to do to make money? So what Steve's talking about here is shortcutting that process down by simply saying, let's find out what's already working and find a way. Then we're going to talk about finding a way to jump in. Cindy, it's definitely not too late to jump in. Great to see you. So let's wind that back. You're sitting down in front of your computer. I am a professional online marketer, as Steve is, as a lot of the people on the call want to be. You know, we have an amazing lifestyle and we are able to do this. But how does it start? It starts by you saying, how are we going to make money? What are we going to do to make money? And everybody's going to throw a million things at you. Let's do T-shirts, let's do that, let's sell advertising, let's do whatever. Okay, cool, but let's narrow down our focus a little bit. So starting with the phrase of what's already working, okay? And then we're going to expand that a little bit and say what's working but could be working better, and that's where Steve's jumping in. So let's cross some things off. Let's look at some Facebook fan pages that have lots of likes, but no posting. Cross it off. Okay, that's somebody that's just not engaging at all. All right, there's no back and forth with people. Cross it off. Walk away. All right, then you're going to look at a Facebook fan page in a specific area, and we'll come back to that in a second, where there's some posts and then there's lots of people bouncing. Yeah, I like this. I saw this. I was there on the weekend. Hey, I saw this photo. And you have, as Steve said, the people create the content. They post their own stuff and they're jumping in. All right, that is an engaged niche. Okay, and that will automatically get a viral effect going on. Okay, that's a tick. Then you're going to say, is there a commercial intent in this niche, as we say? What do I mean by commercial intent? It's all great to talk about this back and forth. I did this on the weekend. Is there any money? Is there an ad, a link, a something anywhere in that engagement? All right. If yes, can you do it better? If no, can you look at it and say, well, there's my opportunity to jump in because it's obviously an engaging and one that I can commercialize. So there's that. Now you're starting to split off. This is what's working. Now we've got to find out what's working better and what's not working. So winding back to say what works, what makes money. That's why we're all here. Now we're going to say let's find some areas on Facebook where there's posts, an engagement, and an excited audience, and that's where we're going to shortcut our learning phase and jump straight in.
Got a quick strategy for anybody who's actually thinking about doing this. Let's say you've got a couple of ideas, from what your friends are doing, but you want to get a load of pages to actually look through. So you want to compare them, and you want to say, hey, if I've got 5 or 10 pages, if I see the majority have got great engagement, and some of them have got profit, kind of links in that they can make money with, we'll go for it. Here's what you do. In Facebook, in the search box, don't type pages named acne, for instance, or just type acne. Type pages about acne. And then Facebook kind of knows all the related words, just as Google does now with search, and it'll bring you up loads of pages with terms that you might not be aware of, because chances are you might not be an expert in this niche. You don't have to be. To actually start off, you can go into almost anything, because if you get people creating content for you, you don't have to be the expert. You're just the authority that actually runs the page or the group or the profile. So using that page about, that instantly educates you on everything. You get a good spread. And most of the bad marketers, they're just literally typing acne, and that's it. And they're creating a page called acne. Or there could be loads of other terms. I'm using that as a pretty extreme example, but it's like that in almost anything. If you want to connect to the people who are most engaged, find out the real terms that they're actually using. Find out those related words. We do this in search already when we're doing web pages, so why not actually do it with Facebook as well? And then, we really need to start sort of seeing, where's that good content? What's the stuff that's getting a response? Quick question, if you don't mind, Walt, for people on here.
Sure.
Do you think if you found a good piece of content from 6 months ago, do you think in most cases it would still perform well now? Or do you just think people on the call just think that a good piece of content is just random how people respond? So you take a piece
That's a great question. So let's ask the people. So do you think a good piece of content from 6 months ago is still going to work today, or do you think that that a good piece of content 6 months ago is just going to die off in the wings? Let's see if we can get some answers. It's going to take about 40 to 60 seconds before we start seeing answers come through, Steve, because there's that delay on Hangout. So we'll see that coming through. We can actually give that answer to people while we're waiting for that for people to actually see the question, and then we'll be able to relate back to them.
Yeah, well, I figured that if a piece of content, we're talking about a little post on Facebook, could be a couple of lines, it could be a paragraph, it could be a video, it could be a funny picture caption, whatever. Let's say, that there's some rhyme or reason behind what's popular and what's not and what's viral. Then what works now, probably should have worked 6 months ago and vice versa. So if you were to get something that was really funny 6 months ago and then share it with your audience, I thought, would it actually work? So I tested it out. And what I found out is, unless it's really sort of related to what's specifically going on in the news or like the Super Bowl or something, it works. Because
Absolutely.
if something's actually got something engaging in it, it still works. And
What was funny 6 months ago is still funny today. It's what was cute 6 months ago is still cute today. The fundamentals of cute, funny, engaging, controversial don't change over time. George says the answer's starting to come through, so people are starting to see that question. George says yes, for most niches, what worked 6 months ago works now. Terrence says the same thing. If it's not something that's just trending at that moment, exactly. Ian says yes, if it's set in the right context to the trend of the day. So that's what we're saying. So what we're saying is if you can find good content that worked before, so long as it's not related to an event of the day, that same good content is still going to be good content moving forward. And I'm just going to wrap something around that, Steve. Let's say that the funny picture, the funny meme that was on that got a lot of engagements and a lot of shares and whatever, and you might say, well, yeah, but how do I use that? If I post it again, hasn't everybody already seen it? Let me be very clear. There's 1 billion people on Facebook, and a maximum of, I don't know, 5,000 people shared that photo 6 months ago. If you post it again, it's still funny today. All right, and you're still going to get the engagement, even from the people that engaged with it 6 months ago. They're going to jump back on and say something like, "Ha ha ha! Yes, I've seen this before," or whatever. Okay, something that's funny. If it was funny, you can use it again because it's still funny, cute, controversial, whatever, and you can use that in context.
Just to extend that as well, imagine you've got all of these different fan pages and groups and profiles out there. Let's say you find a couple of popular ones which matched all those things we talked about with likes and engagement. What are the chances that the majority of the other pages, even though they've got good stuff going on, they haven't seen a popular photo, a popular post, a popular video that actually works in that niche? All you have to do is just transplant it across. If you can identify stuff that's got loads of likes, and if you could just trawl back through. So I decided to test this, but I thought I'd take it a little more extreme. I took something from 3 months ago that actually did well in one of my own pages and reposted it. And guess what? Most people have forgotten about it. And they loved it again. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that all the time because they'd start to kind of, think, hey, this is a little bit weird. It's kind of like Groundhog Day. But it proved that it worked. Absolutely. And we had so many new people on, and so many people who didn't see it even on my own page the first time around. Mm-hmm. Because, it's like when you post like a special offer or a marketing offer or an email. Think about this. Maybe 5% of people open it, maybe 10%. What happens to the other 90%? It's just the same with a fan page. Most people don't see it. They weren't around. Facebook hid it from them. So if you post it again, the majority of your audience still hasn't seen it. So find popular stuff and transplant it.
And that's an essential part of it. You're not doing, again, marketing's not guesswork. You're basing on something that's already working. So Steve, we've got about 20 minutes left of the call. So far we've talked about the fact that you can find something that's already working. Okay, shortcut your learning by saying, let's narrow our focus down. Now you can let me draw a model for you. You can have 100 different projects going, okay, and you can be bouncing here and there and bouncing here and there. That works only when you are ticking the successful ones off. And I'm talking from experience. I've done this personally. I've engaged with VAs. I've asked them to set up 6 websites a day, bang, 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 and I had 5 people, boom, boom, boom. And after 30 days looking to have 1,000 websites set up and running, right? Guess how much money we made? $7 for that month, right? That's a real story. Now the thing is that model doesn't work. Why? Because you're so scattered, you can't pick the winners. And what we're talking about here is shortcutting this learning curve. So we're going to talk about finding what works and building something specifically into that, and then duplicating, making sure that we're making money, then duplicate the strategy and the process. Okay, so pick 1 or 2 areas that you have an interest in. Let's find what's working. Let's find the engagement. Let's find a product that you can monetize into that space. Let's learn to do it the right way, and then let's go again. You're not going to get $150,000 tomorrow. You're going to get some return, and then you're going to build up and get that $150,000 in 12 months. So let's do it one step at a time. As I said, we've got about 20 minutes left of the call. I really want to, as I said, keep this down to 60 minutes. So your strategy, and I started the call by saying that I love you because you're a real marketer. You take your marketing knowledge to people and to companies, and you talk about marketing all day. What can they do to break into new markets? I've come from a sales background, and we used to always say that the goal of marketing is to make sales irrelevant. Okay, what I mean by that is marketing is getting the message in front of the people who want to buy. Okay, and that's what everybody on the call, as I said, we've got 100 plus people on this call. For the goal of the marketing, everything that we're talking about is getting something that makes you money. And I'm talking to every single person on this call. I'm talking to Daniel, Gary, Joe, Phil, George, Chris, Alonzo, Skip, Joni, Krista, everybody, Mark, Clive, Adam, Bruce, Terrence, Cindy, and another Bruce. All right, I'm talking to everybody on this call. The goal is to get what makes you money in front of an audience that wants to buy. Okay, so Steve's talked about selecting the right niche. He's then talked about finding the right content. We've already talked about timing that content to be released in front of the people at the right time. So let's put all of that together into a winning strategy and see how we can make this happen.
Yeah, so basically, if you can then time those posts that you're doing, so it goes out at the perfect time, as we talked about, and an easy way to do this is look at a popular page, see when the big post landing, and you'll find summer weekend niches, okay? Forex, okay? I found the people who are serious about Forex, they're active on a Monday and Tuesday. The people who are just getting into it, Friday, Saturday. So decide your audience, decide what day to post, see when the majority of them are online by seeing when they reply, and just post then. And Facebook's like, whoa, you're getting hit after popular hit. Newsfeed exposure goes way up. Then, as people get to like you and know you, the people who really engage, because you just keep liking what they do, so they get to notice you. And then you put up something that says, hey, go get our free report today. That's how you get opt-ins of really engaged people. So instead of having a custom audience, which, is kind of targeted, but still, it's pretty wide, isn't it? But imagine you just narrow it down to, like, the people who are already probably most likely to be your buyers. You're just talking to them now. You don't need necessarily to advertise to start with. You just say, hey guys, I got this free stuff for you for the opt-in. You've got their email. And then you say, look, I know what you're engaged in. And imagine as well you could figure out the other stuff they were interested in, the related stuff. You say, yeah, I'm interested in that too. They're like, wow, we're really similar. And then you go, by the way, I've got a great offer for you, okay? I've got this great thing. It's going to teach you basically how to create your own, let's say, juice recipes. It's going to teach you how to be a popular blogger. It's going to teach you how to train your
And you're talking to the people that want that specific product. So we said that marketing, the goal of marketing is to make sales irrelevant. If you put the right message in front of the audience that's ready to receive it, you will get the sales. And we're talking affiliate commissions, we're talking, your own product sales, opt-ins to a list, whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. If you put the offer, whatever that offer is, in front of the audience that's ready to receive it, then you will have the higher success rate. And instead of spending $50 to make $35, you'll spend the $50 to make $100, or even better, spend nothing and still make the sales, because you've got the audience already, eating out of your hands. They're ready to receive what you want to talk about.
I've only just been kicking in the advertising now on a lot of old campaigns because I've got the maths. I can say, hey, this is exactly how much I can spend to get a good return.
Very cool. And that's an incredible thing to say, to be able to say you're only just kicking in the advertising now, that you've got the math. So we're talking about making profit before then reinvesting that profit in to grow that profit more. So I think there's going to be a lot of people on this call, and guys, let me know if you're keen to hear this. There's going to be a lot of people on this call, Steve, that want to see how to do this in a timely and cost-effective way, so that we can actually find the niche that works. We can grade the content, we can engage with the people, and we can set all this up. There's going to be a lot of people on this call that want to know this stuff. Guys, again, in the chat box, drop your name and email so you're engaged, and just write in there that you'd like to know this stuff from Steve, because it's absolutely amazing to hear from a professional marketer who can pick a niche, get the profit coming through, and then not even kick the advertising in until later, until we know that that market's working. So if that's something that you're keen to hear, let me know about it. Again, Steve, there'll be a 40 or 60 second delay before we start hearing those answers come back through. So Steve's going to show, I think we've got, what have we got, about 20 minutes left of the call. Steve, because of this strategy, Steve, you were saying that you burned your VAs. Was it 5 that you had running full-time for a month?
Yeah, I mean, I could even show you my account. It's not pretty.
So we burned VAs because everybody on this call, everybody here was going, oh my God, this is a lot of work. I've got to research, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Absolutely true. And that's why Steve when you came to me with what we're going to talk to people about now, I was so excited because it is a lot of work. And the reality is, unless you've got 5 VAs that you can burn full time, there's no way that you can possibly trawl through this stuff at any kind of rate and make any kind of decent return. Rob said, yes, please do. Steph said, I was planning to have a Facebook ad link to a webinar on my website. Do you favor putting the webinar on I'll get to that in a second, Steph. Terrence says, yes, sir, let's go. So there's a lot of people that want to hear about this stuff, Steve. That unless you've got the VAs you can burn, you can't possibly trawl through this stuff and do the research in any kind of cost-effective way, at any sort of scale. And that's where software kicks in. That's what software is designed to do. Software is designed to work 24/7, doing the work of the research so that you can step in and just pick the winners.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what I'm about to show you was designed with 2 things in mind. 1, for just people who are just on their own, yeah? And then 2, for people who maybe do have VAs, but they're now, hey, what are these VAs going to do? So massively leveraging your power. Now, I've been using the software now for quite a long time now, probably around 6 months. It took us a year to build and actually get to kind of a decent level. Now, all the manual stuff I've talked about will work if you're willing to spend the time on it. And you could shorten some of the steps, but you really lower your chances of success. And I didn't want to do custom audiences. Or rather, I think email and phone custom audiences are cool, but when you got the whole sort of scraped ones, obviously that was a loophole that was going to close. And so I did not feel good about that, even going back to maybe February, March. I've got some friends, like I say, still in PR and marketing, and some of them, run sort of ad agencies, things like that, and they were saying, this is looking kind of dodgy. I just think we should stay away. And normally, I'd say, maybe they're a little more reserved than us, but I thought they were onto something. So I thought my system's going to have nothing to do with that. And that's part of the reason it's not the reliance on advertising. Because like you say, if you can make marketing work properly, then you don't even need to do the selling. So if it's okay with you, Walt, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen, show what we made. It's a Mac PC desktop app and also a cloud app. So
absolutely.
I'm just going to say actually.
While Steve's setting this up, guys. So the cool thing is that you're on the call with Steve Bann, who's the master marketer, who also understands that if you have a technique that works, the next step of that is to make it easier. All right, and by making it easier, what we're going to do now is just show you an amazing software program that Steve had to develop because of this formula. So Steve talked about the fact that we want to stay away from custom audiences. It's not something that Facebook wants us to do, and yet Facebook is where the people are. So what we want to do is be able to go through this strategy in a way, in a volume, and in a method that makes it possible for anyone, and I mean absolutely anyone, to be able to pick this up and run with it. So Steve's got his screen up. Let's have a look.
Okay, so this is the main Mac PC app. I'll show you the cloud app after this because I just had a little bit of extra stuff with YouTube and working with virtual assistants. So basically what we can do is we can search through groups, pages, or people. They're the main things on Facebook, and that's where all your content's located and your potential buyers. So first things first, I talked about let's try and find engagement. So here I've got all of the pages I'm connected to. I could search outside if I wanted, so I could do, this is an obvious one I always do, Labradors. I'm atrocious at this time because I'm a little tired, but you just do search Facebook and it will return all of those. But let's just stick with the ones I'm connected to at the moment. Fans of Forex, one I was talking about earlier. And you see we've got down here, we've got like a little man and all these numbers next to them. That's basically how many fans they've got. Now normally people go, whoa, load of fans, let's market to that. But instead what we can do is we can search, and we can search by how many people are currently talking. So instantly we can say, oh, whoa, no engagement, no engagement, no engagement, no engagement. Whoa, big engagement. Get more momentum. That's got it. Eben Pagan, Lifehacker, Brendan Bouchard. These have got fantastic engagement, and you just search. Wow. So instantly we know, right, we've got definitely something that works there. I always think fan pages, best place to start. So we've got this little icon here, and that's basically telling us exactly what we need to know. So, you know, if you want a load of data, best thing to do is to actually like the page, okay? And you don't even have to do it for long. Just like the page. That gives us access to data because we don't want to break privacy, okay? We do everything within Facebook. We're not going around it. So, fans of Forex. This is something I'm working on with a student called Andy, okay? He's into Forex. It wasn't quite working. I just want to demonstrate some of the mistakes I talked about earlier, and then I'll show you exactly what it's like with a page that's working. So the app's just doing loads of crunching data at the moment. It's actually finished that quite quickly, but sometimes it can take a little while. So basically, we've got some metrics about what Andy's doing here. He posts, and his average post gets 1 like and 1 reply. So that doesn't sound too bad. You know, you're thinking, okay, what I found is the really good ones always have more replies than likes. That shows people are really engaged. A lot of people click like, but the people who are typically going to buy or create content for you, they like to click and then write as well.
Make a comment, yep.
Look, Andy's posting on a Friday, and most people like on a Friday. So that's why he's getting the likes that he is, because, you know, his audience, they're obviously beginners. They're getting to the end of the week.
Look at the data on that page. The value of that data, like, I mean, sorry, mate, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I need to turn my mic off and stop talking, because the value on that page, the data on that page alone is worth thousands of dollars.
Well, this is where we started. Now look here, the top reply day is Monday. So the people who are really engaged, these are people who are thinking about the week ahead and they're going, I'm ready to start with this. The people who are just beginning, they're working on a Friday. Now this is different for each niche. So what we're getting Andy to do now is we're getting him to actually do his posting on a Monday, and then he'll get the top engagement from the people most likely to buy. Next thing, find a top performing page, and look at this breakdown here. We can see Andy's doing 75% text, then he's doing 13% video, image 11%, not even doing any questions or polls. Find a top performing one in terms of engagement. You can do that with the search features I've just shown you. And then you just look at their mix of posts and you clone it. That's all you do. You go, right, so I've got to do mainly this type. I've got to do mainly questions. I need to be posting on a Monday. I need to be posting at this time. If I want to get likes, then I'll shift my posting back to a Friday.
Perfect.
Next thing. Oh,
sorry, Matt. Tim's just asked a really good question and something you touched on quickly. So he's asked, so the only way to find out about a group or a page is to like that page, Steve? I've said no, because you can get all the information you like, but you can get more by liking it yourself. Is that right?
You're always going to get more, because otherwise we would actually be breaking sort of all the terms and conditions. So you can see we did like the Labrador search, and you do get some basic information, but what will happen is if you don't click that like, we'll get this data here, the reach metrics, and we'll get the top content. What we won't get is the demographics and the commercial intent, which is seriously powerful.
So there you go, Tim. Just to answer your question, Tim, you can get all of the information, but the real meat comes to those who are liking the page. So that's what Steve says. You don't have to like them for long. If you want to market into that area, the best way to do it is to like it, because that shows Facebook that you are a person in that niche, and it opens up the doors to the information of that niche. So you don't have to get the overview, but the ones you're going to get into, make sure you like them, even if it's only just get the information, so that you can then move it forward.
The one thing we can't do, of course, is if somebody's got their privacy settings really high on their fan page or profile, and you haven't liked them, then literally it's going to be like just it would be on Facebook. You'll just hit a brick wall. But quite honestly, if anybody's got that level of privacy up and they're trying to do something commercial, they're probably not going to be succeeding anyway. So I don't see it as a big concern. Now the next thing we've got, top content. Now Andy's a little lacking on top content, but you can see here we've got his top 10 posts. But because you might be comparing fan pages which have radically different results, or groups that have got radically different members, we come up with this social response rank, which kind of weighs everything together and how timely everything is. It's not a Facebook metric, but it means if you've got a fan page of 1,000, but you've also got one that you're looking at that's really engaged with only 100 people, you can still see how the posts are performing relative to each other. So I'm interested in this. I'm just going to click bookmark. And that's instantly just been sent up to my cloud account and also saved in the project section. If I want to view the post, I can click there, go straight through and see how often it's been shared and see the data about it. Now, let's say I wanted to take things further.
This is sorry, Steve. So this is where we talked about finding content that worked. Yeah. We can. This is that bit. We're finding content that has the right engagement levels with it. We're finding that with the software.
Yeah, imagine you just went through 4 or 5 popular pages and you just took the content from 5 over here and posted it over to just 1 over here. Maybe it's yours, maybe it's somebody else's, because you want to get noticed, maybe. That's instantly going to get people going, wow, you know, Walt posts great content here, Chris posts great content. And of course all you're doing is you're just finding the stuff that's proven to work. And remember, reach metrics, we already know the time to actually do it. Simple as that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to switch to a page that works. I'm going to show you how the metrics differ to just prove what I've been saying. Then I'll show you the really powerful stuff, which is why we really require the likes and things like that. So we're going to go to groups. And if we just go through groups, we've got the European Marketing Masterminds Association. I've done this example actually for a few people simply because it's so cool. So it's just crunching all the data right now. It's going through actually an immense amount of calculations to do this. Look at this. This is a quite a small group. Average likes per post 3, so doing better than the Forex one. Obviously a different niche. Replies per post 6. Okay, how often do you see that? 6 replies per post, average 3 likes. So basically the response is way up. Why is that? Well, look, they like to post on a Sunday, the people who run the actual group. The people who reply on a Sunday. So align those two things. When you're posting, when people are replying, instantly goes up. You want to get likes? Just align when you're posting with the most popular day for likes. Your likes go up. So very, very easy. Top content.
By the way, if your likes go up, your cost of advertising goes down. Just remember that, guys.
Exactly. And in a lot of cases, I'm not even using advertising on a lot of this stuff. So we've got all of this. We can see all of these top posts. We can just keep bookmarking them to our project, into the cloud. Next, top responders. Okay? Here we can instantly see the people who are most likely to respond to what you're doing. Now, don't go and tag them straight away. Like what they're doing first. So they go, oh, hey, I know who Walt is now. I know who Simon is. And then when you post something, they're a lot more likely to click like. Do that for a bit, then tag them in and go, hey, Jack, you know we were talking about that new juice maker machine? Well, I just found the perfect one. And you tag them, and they're like, whoa, I know this guy. He posts really cool stuff. And Facebook's like, this guy posts really good stuff. We love what he's doing. He's really engaging, which is what we want with people. Oh, we're going to give him more newsfeed exposure. And so then Randy goes, hey, this sounds really, really good. And he likes it, and then all the people he's connected with see it. And that's how things grow. So we're just going to bookmark Randy here. So we want to remember that. And we've got this little eye icon here, which means we do a full search to figure out exactly when he's going to be online, to figure out what his related interests are. So that's going to help us engage even more.
Wow. So you're actually saying these are the people that. So you're looking at a niche and you're saying these are the top engagers of that niche, and then from there you can find out when those top engagers are on, and also what else they are connected to.
Because basically, when I was doing my research and I talked about Tim Ferriss, most of us kind of just stick in one area, don't we? But Tim's done like a book on the 4-hour work week, which is business, then about sort of health stuff, 4-hour body, then the 4-hour chef, which is about learning. Yeah, he gets a win in every one. How does he do it? Well, if we have a look at the demographics section here, it'll just take a little while to process the data because we're on Hangout. We've got the top 20 common groups. So we can see the most common groups that people are part of. So scrolling down, we can see solo ads are popular. So if we were to go into this group and start talking about solo ads, do you think they'd be interested? Yeah, so you could take content from that related interest that you know they're going to respond to. That gives you extra things to do. Common pages. Darren Brown, the mentalist.
That's a really good point just to reinforce, Steve. You've got all these people in this niche, whatever, however you say it. All these people that are also in other related groups. So what you can do is take the content from one that's over here, because you know that it's already across interest, and bring it back in. It's incredible.
So it's not random like before. You know, you might have a personal interest. You'd share it with one of your niches, thinking it was going to work, and it would just die. And I remember reading Jason Moffat saying that exactly the same issue. We also show you the gender breakdown and the top 10 locations, which is great for advertising.
Absolutely, right there.
Top strategy here.
That screen alone right there will change your ROI massively.
Top strategy I do, if, like, say the smaller group is over 30% of the group, I target them specifically. I ignore the bigger part of the group. So let's say women were 30% of that group. I would then just start targeting women specifically in how I wrote the copy, because I know that they're a substantial part of the group, but they're not big enough for most marketers to notice, and they've never been spoken to directly before. That's a really, really simple strategy there. If it's over 30%, the sort of smaller demographic, talk to them directly. Nobody will have bothered doing that before. Instantly increase your sales, your engagement. Finally, the intent section. Now,
sorry, mate. Just one very good question that's just come through. The person's listed as VB, so I'm not sure who they are. But VB has asked us, when we're looking at the engagement on a page, can we tell if that page has been buying ads? Maybe the engagement is due to ad buys. My response is going to be the engagement initially may be because of an post-engagement ad, but then the continuation of that engagement is going to be natural because of interaction on the page.
It probably will average out. I mean, somebody certainly could buck the trend for a little while, but if you compare across a few fan pages as well, then you're pretty much sort of guaranteed. Now, typically, what I find is engagement from paid doesn't often come in comments unless you've got really good at this already. It comes in the form of likes.
Yeah,
So
likes, page engagement as far as Facebook is concerned is likes. That's why Steve said probably the better thing to look at is replies, because page engagement from Facebook means you're paying for likes. Whereas, and so Facebook will say you've got 22 page engagements at a cost of 30 cents an engagement or whatever, all right? But a reply, somebody who sits and actually types a comment into Facebook, is a much higher level of engagement than a like ever will be.
So just to kind of show you the final section, I'll give you one example of how I've used this. And also an offline example. I know we're getting close to the hour, so I don't know if we can run 5 or 10 minutes over on this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I want to keep it to the hour, but 5 or 10 should be right. I think everybody's pretty keen to see where we're at.
Cool. So Edge popularity. This is a hidden Facebook metric that only developers can see. They don't show it, but basically, if a post has got this little flag marked on it called is popular, it means that Facebook thinks this post is doing well in the context of whatever the group or fan page is. Because not everything is going to go viral all over the world, is it? But it could still be popular within the niche. So you can see that this one, they're not really hitting it. We also show viral potential. So if they're getting a lot of shares, you know that they're really good at this, and that's instant hot niche for you. Here's what's really cool, commercial intent. We go through all the links that are posted, and we filter out all the stuff that we know is funny and unrelated, and we focus on the stuff that's commercial, like ClickBank, like Warrior Forum, like JVZoo. You can instantly export all of those links. And then you can just go sign up for those programs yourself. Now let's see, do you want all the funny stuff?
Hang on a second. So we're looking here and saying what works. You can straight away see, and this is not something publicly visible, only through the program, is a popular post. So if you're building your own audience over here, which is what we're talking about, making something that works, you can instantly see what is working in that niche, in another space, and get an export of the links so that you can go and actually be the guy that's promoting that same product to the group, knowing that it works.
Exactly, because I thought that was really powerful. So we've chosen the right niche. We know who the top engagers are, so they'll create content for us and really like us, so we become an authority. We know the content to share, so we're really liked even more. And we know basically all of the stuff that they're putting out there that's getting them money. Now, sometimes you'll find a niche with loads of those in, and there's no engagement. Well, that just means they're trying hard, but they've got no engagement, they're not selling. So just quickly to go across, I'll just show you my offline group. So I did 4,000 posts to a little PDF report I wrote in my offline VIP group. It's like, at the time it was about 400 people. I'll just see if, right, just delete that. I think I've not done the capitalization right. Just search this. Yeah, so 485 at the moment. We'll do a full search. I'll just quickly whiz you through something here. So if we go to the intent section.
Your own group, yeah?
Yeah. Popular posts, 215. In other words, every single one that I've done, I now hit that metric. That hidden metric, because I know exactly what I'm doing. So I've had people like Willie Crawford, Mark Thompson, Paul Clifford have all asked to join. It's only a small group. Why is that? It's because we're getting great engagement. It's a great place to go if you want to get your software beta tested for offline, if you've got a new strategy you want to share. So we've got this really popular group, and one of the top engagers has become the admin now, and so he creates a lot of content. So I don't have to do a lot.
So this can be anybody that's on the call. Again, I'll read out the roll call of names. Anybody can build their own group page, niche specific, and have, because you've got the view of what works, you've got the top contributors in related and connected niches and pages, you can build your group which has such a high level of engagement that anytime you drop a link or a promotion in there, you're just going to go off the charts.
Yeah, so like I say, we did the one link to this PDF report called Print Consulting, and it went off the scale. Like I say, we did $4,000. I think it was $3.84 EPC. That was with no promotion, no affiliates. So I proved
no paid advertising.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not a big promo compared to what really big promos are, but to say that was a single post, and guess what? I proved that I could make the product then work with advertising, because I knew how it's converting if I could do that properly. If we've got time, just a little quick offline example, local businesses, because I know some of the people on here will work with local businesses. A few of the local bars, they put up, like 2-for-1 promotions, so like 2-for-1 cocktails, and they were putting up these promo offers and not getting great engagement. So I literally said, guys, you're posting on a Wednesday, you need to be posting on a Thursday, okay? Because it's Thursday night, people are checking before they come home from work. If there's a cheap offer, they'll go out on Thursday night as well as Friday night. Then we showed them the engagement. Next, we looked at the related interests. We could see the restaurants that these people were interested in, get some co-promotion going on between the restaurants and the bars. It works really well, you know.
Absolutely.
And you then look at the popular ones, figure out when to post.
I was engaged in a training course, Steve, with one of the marketing legends, a guy named Mal Emery, and he talked about a $1 million promotion. Okay, and he did this promotion very simply in exactly the way you're talking about there by using this software. Mal did it in a manual form 10 years ago, before this even existed. Imagine what he could do now. But Mal talked about going to a jewelry company and getting their database and cross-promoting to a florist and a chocolate shop, all right? And his company, as a marketing company, was set up to just take a consulting fee from the transactions. And because they bounced their related niches across each other, they made $1 million in sales within a week between those three companies, okay?
Yeah.
Because what they did was they found, as you said, you can find related pages or other connected pages. You've got this niche of people. What else do they like? They like this over here. Set something up between them. Ask this person if you can post this link and cut them in on an affiliate commission, and you've got yourself a winning formula.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, I think I've pretty much shown people now how you can use this for local businesses to help out local businesses. How you can use it for really random niches that, you know, you and your friends might find interesting. I've shown how you can use it for internet marketing. Just for the very last bit, I just need to change the screen share here. So I'm just going to change this right now to the cloud app. So all of your data goes straight up into the cloud app. So let's say you're going to visit a client, you've not got the desktop app with you, you've only got your phone. You've got all of your data in here under the project section. You can just go in and you can view it. And like I said, we're adding some export features in there. Your team, okay? You can add a license, then you can rename it for a team member. As soon as that team member stops working for you, you just revoke the license. You don't need to get them to close the desktop app. You just pull the license back and you can put it out to a friend. So if I want to
you can get a virtual assistant going through doing all your research for you. You can have that on the cloud, so you're never losing anything. You've got no hassles with getting data off your VAs or anything like that.
Exactly, because I'd got this yearly package. I thought, how can I, you know, now they're not doing all this really hard spreadsheet stuff for me all the time. What can I get them to do? You can message them, okay? You can message them directly in the app. Let's say you're interested in finding videos to share, though. We've got a little extra, the Acme one, which I spoke about before. Give us a little while to process. Instantly, it tells you how competitive it is. It tells you how many channels there are. It tells you how many ClickBank links it found. Then it pulls out all the ClickBank links, if they're important to you, and it pulls out the most popular videos, which you can then view. So you can then just go share those as well through Facebook.
So you share that video with a link to a promotion that you can get paid. So you know the video goes viral. You can see that. You can post that on a page and include a link to a program that you know you're going to get paid on.
And you already know the right time to post it.
Wow, that's really cool.
And you know the sort of the age and sort of demographic gender of the audience, so you can really tailor this.
See, Steve, this is why I love you, mate. Honestly, this is why I love you, because we're talking about taking a system that works and putting it into an amazingly powerful tool, putting it in the hands of people where it can actually make a real difference. And, you know, that's a stunning, stunning piece of software that you've had developed there, mate. That is amazing.
Thanks. I mean, basically, we tried to do this outsourced. We ended up getting two UK-based developers to do this, so the cost went kind of way up on this, but I already knew it was going to work because I tested it all doing it manually. And that's why I went to all that effort, the months of research, getting the virtual assistants from Fancy Hands, because it's just a case of automating it then. So yeah, I mean, guys, that's sort of pretty much the system there. I mean,
it's an incredible system. Now, for everybody on the call, it's not going to be for everyone because you know it may not be at that level. But I urge you guys to look at this as a future investment, because what this program does is change your ability to cherry pick what works and to really make sure that you're going to make money with what you're doing, not guessing. I know that Steve's put a special offer. There's a link below this video. This software program that Steve's had developed, which we've just demonstrated why it works so well, and there's a lot of feedback there, is called Social Control. Being able to research, find, develop, and engage with the people. It's called Social Control. There's a link below this video which you can click on now. It'll take you to a new page. Steve's put together a $1,000 bonus package for you guys on this call. Okay, so clicking on that link will open it in a new page. Social Control itself, Steve, I think the total investment, tell me again.
Well, if you just want a single license, I think now we're looking about $120, which is, and basically what you're getting for that, you're getting the desktop app, 1 year update, but here's the important thing as well, you're getting the cloud app as well, okay?
Fantastic.
Because one of the things is, I'm taking this to PR and marketing agencies, I'm using them essentially, because I've got the costs of cold calling and advertising and all the meetings, but because they're paying a higher fee, I'm using them to fund the cloud app. So the cloud app, all those, there's no recurring on this. That's what's really cool, okay? We've managed to completely avoid that because of this business model. So yeah, it starts at that. If you want an agency license, right now it's going to set you back sort of probably around $380 for the year. But come Sunday, that's when this kind of promotion ends, and I know I've got to start doing my hard work, go around the PR and marketing agencies, the SEO agencies, and they're paying $2,000 a year. So like I say, there's only a limited time I could do this for genuinely, because otherwise, if they see me selling it at this price, I'm not going to be able to sell it to them, and I'd be missing out.
Steve, I've just sent you a message I need you to act on quickly. The special offer page, there's a buy button on the bottom, which people can go and pick this up, is not going to a buy link, so can you jump onto that? And I just want to talk about what you just said. People can actually get this particular program for a $120 lifetime cost, whereas the PR companies, and I know that we talked about that before the call, you're closing this down, I think, in a few hours to the public. It's only going to be available to the PR companies at a cost of $2,000 a year. So you guys, and the reason Steve's closing this down is for that reason. You can't sell it for $120 lifetime and then go and charge somebody $2,000 a year to access the same thing. So Steve's going to go and fix up that link. Guys, if you can possibly, you know that $120 for a single license, you can blow that in advertising and get no returns, whereas this particular program, you can set it up, have it with you, lifetime access, and get all your research to make sure that that's a winner straight up without any guesswork whatsoever. So Steve's going to go and fix that link, and also there's $1,000 bonuses for anybody, $1,000 in bonus for anybody that picks this up. So make sure you give us a few seconds, and Steve's going to just fix up that link and jump straight back on with us. One of the guys asked, is this automation? In the back end, Miles, yep, we're just fixing that. The link at the bottom of the page is going to a dead URL. We're just fixing that right now. There's a program, once you purchase Social Control, you'll be offered also partway through a program called Quilio, which I've used personally. Quilio is an automated Facebook page posting and management system. So you can set up all your posts and your pages. You can spend 10 minutes and manage all your posts for the rest of the week. So just go through and check that out. Yep, Steve, I'll just grab my link. Hang on a second. 1 second, guys. There's always got to be a hang up somewhere along the line. All right. I'm just grabbing the right link so that you guys can lock this in for Steve's system. All right.
Cool. I'll just wait till you get that across to me. We'll get this fixed for people. I know the standard sort of page is working, but we want everybody to go through your link.
Yeah, we want them to get
the bonuses.
We want them to get the bonuses. So, all right, guys, Steve's just fixing that up. Give us 5 more seconds, and that will be done.
Just going to check it once more now. And no.
All right, guys. Done?
No, I'm afraid not. That link does not work for me.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I'll just do this then. Guys, I really want you to be able to grab these bonuses, guys. So let me just set up a new link for you. Give me 1 second.
Yes.
All right, give me 30 seconds. I've got it set. I'm just going to upload it now. Okay, uploading. Steve, you've got something working there?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about that link. Sort of, it just does not work for me at all. It just goes through the insane backlinks thing.
Okay, which we don't know.
Very strange.
Okay.
Refresh the
Let me
page.
just check this. waltbayliss.com/SC. Let me just.
Now.
Sorry, mate.
It's working now. If people just refresh their page, do the sort of whole
Refresh that page, okay.
Let's just you test it as well. Just make sure I'm not crazy as well.
Okay, I've just put it on my side as well, waltbayliss.com/SC, if you guys want to jump into there. Or if you want to refresh that page with the bonuses on it, the link will now work, you guys. So there we go. Done and done. That'll take you to the right link. I'm just posting anybody who wants to have a look. If you can't get the link, there we go. So it's waltbayliss.com/SC, or you can hit the link below the video and refresh that page now. It will take you to the bonus page where you can get the $1,000 extra. Anybody that buys through any of the links will grab that bonus package as well. So don't worry about that. Okay, waltbayliss.com/SC. SC, social control, SC. So anybody that picks it up, you guys are going to grab, whether you buy a single license or a multi-license, up to you, depending on how big you want to put this out. As we said, you can have your VAs producing, and all the information is stored in the cloud, and Steve's put together a $1,000 bonus package. So there's the link below this video. Click it. This offer is only going to be open for a few more hours until we close it off altogether. There's a $1,000 bonus there. Refresh that page or go to waltbayliss.com/SC, and we'll make sure that those bonuses come through for you as well. That's all working on your end now, Steve?
Yeah, seems to all be fine here. I don't know what went actually wrong with that link, because it was a standard sort of link that we put in there. So
not to worry. I hope you guys are going to go off and to pick this up. I've got a couple of people clicking through to that link now, so they're saying that is working without a hassle. So that's great. What we're talking about here, guys, I just want to recap because I've got to head off really soon, and I want to keep this really punchy. The replay is going to be available on this same page for the next few hours, just so that you can go back through. Understand that if you can find what's profitable. All right. If you can find what's profitable, you're going to be able to be well in front of the crowd. Okay. You already take away 90% of the failure where people don't get a working system. All right, and they guess, they spend a lot of money on something that's not working. You take that out of the equation. Then you're able to really narrow in and focus on specific pages and groups that are engaged and that are working. You're able to find the content that is engaging and content without the guesswork. You're able to schedule the posts and all that kind of stuff up into the system. So this simple software program, I used the wrong word there, this amazingly powerful software program puts a simple strategy in your hands that can make the world of difference when it comes to your returns and your smart marketing. Steve, as we started off the call, we'll let people go through, again, that link is waltbayliss.com/SC, or the link below the video. You'll be able to click that now, see all the bonuses available, and go through all the way through to Steve's bonus page and then the buy link. If it's not working, just refresh. Make sure you grab this. This is just about to close off for good. But we started off by talking about the fact that marketing is not guesswork, and when you're smart about what you're doing, you're not throwing money down a black hole. And I think we've shown everybody here, Steve, that they can do things a smarter way with a very powerful tool that actually takes away the guesswork for them.
Yeah, very, very much so. I mean, you could try and do this manually if you wanted to do all the work I did, or you can approximate the system, but you start approximating it, you know, the wheels start falling off, don't they? That's the risk. And it's like going back to doing things random.
And you can spend a lot of money and get very little return.
Yeah, and like I say, for me, this is a great system which I can use for advertising as well. But in all honesty, in most cases, I don't need to. And if I do, I've already tested it. I know who will buy. I know the demographics. I know where they're hanging out. I know their ages. I know when they're going to be online. And I know sort of my rough metrics in terms of costs. So I know whether it's worth it.
And when you've got that level of knowledge, that you know, you can then spend money on advertising, knowing that for every, let's do some real numbers. You can say for every 100 people that I get to the page, 6 people will purchase. I know that as a fact. Of those purchases, each purchase is worth, you know, pick a number, let's say $100. So for every $100, it's going to cost me to get somebody to my page. I'm going to make $600 in return. You can only do that when you know the metrics so inside out. And this particular piece of software is the best way to absolutely ensure you've got all of those necessary statistics and metrics behind you before you start spending a dime.
Yeah, that's the whole reason that this system was put together, just to increase the amount of times you win, because right now people are posting all the time and it's not landing. Half the stuff just not being seen. They're picking niches which are wrong. They're picking products which will not sell to that audience, or the audience is just dead and gone. And they're not engaging with the top people who will create content for you and like what you're doing. So it's really about getting each stage, getting people to win, just increasing that chance.
Exactly, and this, like you said, you could do all this manually. And I had somebody pop up and say, "I'm sorry, guys, it's not for me." Look, I'm really sorry to hear that, because honestly, you have to do this research if you have any chance of hitting some goals. You have to do the research. And the fact of the matter is that for a license for this software, which is a lifetime program, you can have this piece of software ready to go for you 24/7, and take all the guesswork out. As we said, $120, you could blow that on 2 advertising campaigns and be out of pocket without any wins. And this software absolutely takes that risk factor and destroys it. Invest the money instead in the software, and then have wins after wins after wins after wins. It'll pay you back for a long time. Now, I know we can
Teespring thing.
Sorry, buddy, say again.
With sort of the whole Teespring thing, people are saying, "Hey, just try $50 a day on like maybe 4 or 5 niches, and you'll get one that works." Well, that's $250 you've already spent. Now, if you get any profit, that you might just then cover your costs. You've not even actually gone into real profit. You've just covered the money you wasted on the niches that didn't work. Of course, it can work, but it's a high outlay. It's a really high outlay, and that's what bothers me.
It's crazy, and that's exactly right. That's what people are teaching, is just spend $50 a day and give it a shot. You do that twice, and you're done. You may as well, just set fire to that money. You're much smarter to be able to invest in a program that will eliminate the risk factor and give you the wins straight up. Now, again, I'm going to close off the call fairly soon, but guys, the link below the video will take you to Steve's bonus page with $1,000 of bonuses for anybody that's been on this call. Amazing. Grab it and run with this program, because it's available only until we close it off at the end of the weekend, which is then it goes into commercial and only available at the higher cost end. This is your final chance to grab it. In the back end, I mentioned there's also a program called Quilio, which you'll be offered, which I use personally, which my VA uses, that can schedule and automate all of your Facebook engagement, and that's not necessary for the social control system, but it adds an awesome.
I think it's just a nice little extra,
It's a nice little
just
extra.
to kind of reinforce, Walt. I hope people understand that. The reason the price has to go up is not some sort of enforced scarcity. It's literally the fact that I cannot be selling this at one price in one location and then getting companies along in a meeting and they're going, "Hey, we can pick this up really cheap. I'm going to look like a fool." So,
yeah, exactly. You go in at a $2,000 pitch, and they say, "Well, I can buy it for $120." You have to close it off because it's a commercial product, and it's really only a launch special. We've got a few hours left of it. So, guys, the replay is going to be up on this page. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. I suggest you go back through it. There's a link below the video which would take you to the bonuses you can go through, and the buy link is now working. Or you can go simply to waltbayliss.com/SC. All right, SC standing for social control, waltbayliss.com/SC. And Steve, as we come to an hour and 20, mate, I just want to say thank you. And not only thank you for your time, thank you for putting the effort into this software to make sure that people can get a real return from their marketing, and can stop the guesswork that burns so many people. I just honestly want to say thank you. You have put this software program together, and it's going to help so many people who take advantage of this system now to actually change their results tomorrow, the next day, and the day after, and for a lifetime on. So, mate, thank you for the effort that it's taken to put this together. I know it's been more than a year in development, but the information that this software gives you, just that one page, the demographics, just that one page, the intention, the information on those pages will literally change people's results. And mate, my hat is off to you.
Oh, thanks. It's been a long time coming, and been a tough old sort of route to actually get here. But we knew the system worked because we've done it manually, so we just had to keep pushing to get that sort of automated version working. We couldn't just abandon it, no matter how much it cost, how long it took, and that's why we stuck kind of with it.
It's awesome, mate.
Yeah, I just like to say, part of me is like, I don't want to have to close this out, but I know I've got to. because I'm losing out.
You've kept it open for a while, and I'm late to the party with getting these in front of the people. But guys, there's $1,000 in bonuses up. There's a lifetime licenses that you can pick up, but you need to act now because at the end of the weekend, it's done and finished. I'll leave the replay up because there's some awesome value in what you need to look at for your marketing, but the offer will be gone. So make sure you jump on it now. You can either click the link below the video or you can go to waltbayliss.com/SC and make sure you get that up and running. Lock in your lifetime license as the last time it will be offered. And if there's any other questions, we'll stay online for another couple of minutes. But you guys go and take action. If you have any intent in making money from your marketing, you can eliminate the risk by getting your research done, and this program does that for you in seconds. Pick any niche, go to any affiliate program, be it ClickBank, be it Commission Junction, be it JVZoo, look at any products that are in there, and then use social control to go and find, is that product going to be successful? How am I going to run a promotion and actually have the highest chance of making money out of that system? So make sure you lock in your version of social control. Take action now. Pick up the bonuses. That's a huge offer from Steve, and thank you for that, mate. And take action now because really this is a life changer.
Right, cool guys.
We're going to wrap up. Steve, thank you so much again, buddy. And
no problem. It's getting a little late here in the UK, so I really need to
in the morning.
Yeah.
All right, mate. I'm going to go as well. But guys, if there's any questions, drop them through on an email or whatever. But don't delay. This is really, it's closing at the end of the weekend, and it is the best marketing intelligence system that you could absolutely put your hands on. So again, Steve, thank you, mate, for your time. I'll let you go and sleep. And,
yeah, thanks for a great hangout. It's been really fun to do this, answer some people's questions as well. Hopefully we've made it.
It's been amazing to see how you can actually put a strategy behind and take the guesswork out. So, all right, guys, thanks again. Steve-O, thanks, mate.
And yeah, no props.
We'll catch up with everyone a bit later on.
Okay, thanks. Bye.